And you calculate it now on the receipt. They tell you 20% is this, 40% is this, right? And the receipt. Thank the Lord, because I'm trying to. I don't even know how to calculate it. I'm I don't know. That's why it's like I'm not teaching my students how to calculate tips, right? I used to have a tip sheet, a sheet that says it.
But honestly, though, they do need to start teaching kids like more useful stuff in school that they're going to use in life, like. They don't teach any of them about using a checkbook. Nobody learns about banking. They don't learn about the basics of the stock market, like nothing. Like, who gives a fuck about George Washington? Like, that ain't getting you nowhere, okay?
Exactly.
Like, they need to really be teaching kids like life skills that because parents unfortunately don't. A lot of these kids don't have parents that teach them any life skills.
Well, the parents don't know that stuff either. Like, how many adults don't know how to do their own taxes?
Yeah. And how to balance your budget. It's really important.
Yeah.
And then credit cards, like when to get a credit card, when not to use a credit card,
Yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous that the school systems don't even teach like life skills and everyone. I mean, we're at the point now where parents just can't be responsible for teaching this because half of them don't. Yeah. And the kids suffer. So if you're going to try to help these kids, let's start teaching them something more useful. I don't remember ever learning about different religions either. Like, I believe that should be taught. I don't know what Muslims pray to. I don't know what Jewish people pray. I don't know any of that. And I wish I would have learned a little bit about each religion, like every religion, at least the basics.
I went to Catholic school and we had a world religions course in high school.
Yeah, we did.
Phenomenal. Like, you did each of them and then you went to like their temple or their synagogue or.
That's very cool. Yeah, we didn't have any of that,
Most of it, but it was one of the better courses I took.
I'm surprised the Catholic school did that. Were they afraid that people were going to convert? They're like, well, this.
I went to a crazy progressive Catholic school.
That's
like
cool though.
Full birth control was taught, like none of this abstinence only stuff. Health class, like they talked about like safe use of weed and
safe use of weed.
Like, because they knew people were doing it anyways, right? So it was like all that stuff. Like, you guys are going to do this crap. So like, whatever. If you're drinking and driving and you go to a party, you stay over. Like.
That's great. That's what
it was. There was another Catholic school, maybe 20 minutes from us, that they actually did a movie about because there was a gay student who wanted to bring his boyfriend to prom, and the principal said, "No, you can't do it." And like our school, like they just didn't care. Like I remember my friend Christine, she had a baby when we were in high school and she was at the daycare around the corner and she used to pick her up and bring her to class because of like the timing from when she'd go home to when it was closing or opening and stuff. Like teachers are like, no problem, whatever. Like seen a teacher walk around with Allie on her hip teaching a class. Like,
oh, that's great. The teacher babysat the baby?
Not babysat it, but like Christine would bring her to class because the daycare wasn't open yet and she'd be fussy and the teacher's like, oh, give her to me. And you're writing your test and the teacher's walking around with the baby on her hip.
Yeah, we didn't have, that's not the kind of school I went to.
Well, so I had something happen over this time. My dog I'm out of my house working now, and she is a complete pill. She's gone crazy. She's having a hard time.
Oh no.
So I know that's going to be a common thing people are talking about their animals when, you're out of the house. She's like, she got sick in December. She had pneumonia and she almost died, and she wasn't eating. She was in a little oxygen tank at the vets, like the hospital there, the vet hospital. They had to spoon feed her. So now, guess that bitch wants me to spoon feed her.
So you're spoon feed the dog. You spoon feed her. How old is she?
10.
Oh, Max is 10. He's just suddenly not walking. He's like laying down a lot. But he's obese.
Well, so my dog, it's like, So, yeah, so she was fine, when she was eating before, and I had she got pancreatitis I think it was like in March or something. She's had a hard run this last year. And so then I had to change her food to this prescription wet food. And so she likes it. But then she wasn't eating, and I had to put this pill in it, right?
Yeah.
And so maybe if I just show it to her, and then she's like eating it, and I was freaking out. I'm like, what if she forgot how to eat? And I asked her to count backwards sevens, and she
couldn't. The doctor didn't ask me if I forgot how to eat. Oh, she looked at me and knew that wasn't the case.
And then I thought, oh my God, maybe she's losing her vision. Maybe she can't see the food. And then I thought, and she can't smell it either because she's been sneezing. So, and then I thought maybe I have to raise the food. So now I'm stuck spoon feeding her. She'll stand by her thing and bark at me, her dish. So I don't know. So I was talking to my therapist who has Popeye, Pugalicious. Remember the dog? And so I have to get a behaviorist for my dog because she's a pain. She's having a problem. I know when I go to New York, I don't know she's gonna be a pain in the ass.
Are you bringing her though, right? How are you flying? Can she fit under your seat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the vet, when they did an x-ray, she has a little bit of arthritis on her back. So I'm like, oh freak. Now I hope she's gonna be okay maybe I'll just give her. And I thought, well, you know what? People have talked to me about this before. They do have CBD for dogs.
Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering if I should I've never looked into that because she's got behaviors too. If somebody comes to the house, she goes right for the balls. If it's a guy, she'll go right up and try to bite the balls. Yes.
Why?
Anybody that comes to the house, she just hates. She wants to attack them.
Is it only men?
It's women too, but she doesn't go for their balls. She just goes,
What does she try to get? The vagina? Like, what does she do?
The ankles. And anybody, like my mom, my friend that came, and it's just kind of like, and I've given her, when she flies on the airplane, I give her this doggy Xanax, and that really helps. But then it's like, I should show you these pictures. She looks like could be on Cheech and Chong. I mean, she's really out of it.
That's probably,
Oh, it is good. It is good for her because
Can we take this doggy Xanax or is it something different?
You know what? That's a very good question.
Can we get doggy Adderall? Can we? No, I don't.
Try it.
Can I get it that way? What can we do?
I'll spoon feed it to you. I should look it up. I was thinking maybe CBD would help her because, here's the thing. No wonder why I can't. If I have a man come over, first of all, it helps me because I don't have one night stands, right?
She's not going to have it.
And then if men come over, it's like they don't ever come back.
Or they have to keep their clothes on the whole time.
They don't ever come back because of her? Is that who you're blaming? Yeah, not exactly.
You. It's not me and my wonderful personality. So I started, I don't mean to bring up another thing. Is it okay if I bring up my latest dating thing?
Yes, let's absolutely.
100%.
Okay. So I went back on Bumble. Okay, what if it works out with this guy and I'm making fun of it? Okay, so anyways.
We can all tell at the wedding.
So this guy's my age. And so let's just say his name is Steve, okay? So Steve and I are talking on Bumble. And he did the extension thing. So I thought, okay, he extended his time. So we're messaging. And so it said he's Buddhist. And I said, well, that's kind of cool. It's interesting. And so we were talking and we talked on the phone. And then he said to me, oh, yeah. So we're talking. He goes, you seem like a sweetie. And I said, did you say I'm a sleazy? I seem like a sleazy? And he goes, no, a sweetie. And I'm like, this is where I need to get my hearing aids. I wear hearing aids. I haven't worn them in a year though. I'm like, okay, I'm not sleazy, but I'm sweet. So then he's like, oh, you must be sweet because you work in special ed. I go, I guess so. And so we're talking and we're getting along. He likes the same things. I like to hike. I like to exercise, be outside. I guess he had a business where he was taking pictures, photography, right? And he sent me some of the pictures. And then I'm like, oh, that's nice. And now he's an electrician for the last 7 years. He has his own business. And look at Jen. So then he's like looking for work. He's working for work in the computer business. And he's my age. And I'm looking at Cindy, right? It's like, okay, why are you looking? Why don't you keep your business? So then I'm like, okay. And he says, oh yeah, I have I had somebody gave me this great ink, this computer ink, and it works really well. And I'm like, oh, that sounds interesting. Then he sends me a picture of the computer ink, and I'm like, I don't want to see that, and then I'm like, okay, cool. So then he's like, oh yeah, so I took some pictures of myself. I think I had said something like, oh, that's a cool picture of ink. Haha, it's big, right? I was joking around. And because he knows I do comedy, I let that out. I shouldn't let it out. And then he goes, well, I took some really revealing pictures of myself in front of the mirror. I said, wait, do not send them.
Mel,
do not send them. Yeah.
Mel.
Babe, how do you get these guys? Like
nothing is going to work out. Number one. I don't want to hear you're like, well, what if this works out? No.
I gotta tell you. So then the other thing is,
you are attracting creepos, Mel. You need to up your game here.
Hold on, Cindy. Let's hear. There's more.
Okay.
So I guess he tried music at one time, and his music didn't take off ground. He's on SoundCloud. Anybody can be on SoundCloud. You can make fart noises and be. So he sends me the music, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? So then I'm like,
wait,
okay.
What does it sound like?
I should play. No, then he's gonna. So then I'm like, okay, cool. And so then he's like talking to me, and he's like, I'm like, okay. And I said, so I got excited because I'm like, okay. I go, he goes, well, I'm not going to send you those pictures. I go, hell no, you're not going to send me those pictures. He's like, I can't imagine what it's be like for you women getting pictures like that. I go, well, you're not sending them. And he didn't. And then he's like, I'm a stand-up kind of guy. I'm a good guy.
Oh, you sound like it. You sound like it.
And then he says to me, he had music, and he goes, I go, yeah. So he asked, I said, oh, I'm divorced. He's never been married, never had kids. And then he says to me, yeah, he goes, I can go for any kind of connection. And I'm like, oh, okay. I want a relationship. I want a date. He goes, yeah, I used to sleep with women, just like, not date them, but I haven't done that in a long time. I'm like, well, that's good. Like, I don't know why and then he's like, you're really easy to talk to. And I'm like, oh, great. So then I'm like, maybe that's a good thing. And then he says to me, yeah, he goes, I'm not in any hurry. He said, it's been a long time. He said, I've been basically living the life of a monk. Then I'm like, he said he's Buddhist. Does that mean he's been in monkhood? Is that what they call it?
It means that nobody's wanted to sleep with him, and he's trying to get a pity screw out of you. Mel, you'll be the one that'll bring me out of my monkhood.
No.
So then he's like, I know. I thought maybe he's a monk. So then he's texting me, it just happened one day we text. The next day I'm like, oh, good morning.
This all happened in one day?
Yeah. He texted me. And then he goes, oh, do you have any more pictures of yourself? I sent another picture, and I should have asked for more of his.
You know what the best part is though?
Yeah.
Honestly, if you start seeing you know what I would send him? I would send him someone else's nude with just the vagina. Just a straight up bad shot. I think it's time that you guys start getting back at these dudes for the kind of stuff they send to you.
But look at this ink. I can't show you here. So then he said, I didn't hear anything from him, right? It's like, okay, whatever. And then the next day I texted him. I'm like, oh, good morning. He said, good morning. I said, how's life? I didn't hear from him for 10 hours. So he's not even texting me or anything. And I'm like,
right.
So here's his, want to hear the music?
Yeah, let's do it. We don't say his name. No one's going to know.
One of the songs.
He's famous. Maybe. Does he have a lot of views? All right, let me be the judge.
He has 11 followers.
Oh my God, play me this. Put it towards the speaker.
I can hear it.
Is that a song? What am I hearing?
Talking.
Is that rap? Is this white boy summer rap? I don't know. I can't hear it.
Sounds like a therapy session over music.
You say, why does everything have to be a dialogue? Why does everything have to be a dialogue?
Listen, this guy sucks. Number one. Turn that up. Oh.
Make